With political distractions ending tomorrow night, the chances for a stimulus check and a stimulus deal go up big time by the end of this week. Hello and welcome to today's November 2nd, second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update. With the election campaigning stopping this week, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says there is still an opportunity to get a stimulus deal done quickly. Many politicians believe a stimulus deal is right around the corner now that election pressures will begin to subside. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now. All right, I just want to say thank you to my community for the 76,000 likes you gave my latest video. I really appreciate that. Okay, now I didn't do a stimulus update on Saturday or Sunday because I didn't really see anything of great value to share with you. The last thing that came up was this scathing letter from Steve Mnuchin responding to a letter from Nancy Pelosi. If you missed that video, go back and watch my two videos. It got pretty heated, but there was some good information revealed in those two letters. Now, for this week, President Trump said during one of his campaigns over the weekend that after he wins the election, he will be pushing for a large stimulus deal to be done right away. However, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that what America will see is a blue wave where Democrats win the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. In that case, they will do a much larger stimulus package in the new year if they're not able to do it during the lame duck time between November and the end of January. However, Pelosi's rationale for getting a stimulus done before Joe Biden takes office, if he wins, is that she wants to get it done so that he doesn't have to focus on it, citing that he will already have so much to do as a new president. So she is saying if President Trump loses, that as a lame duck president, she still thinks that she can get something done. We will see who wins, right? We are less than 48 hours away. Now, in the news, Brian Morgenstern, who is the communications director for the White House, said that President Trump is still committed to doing more stimulus after the election. However, he is very much against giving in to liberal wish lists. Now, these are Morgenstern's words, not my own, okay? Now, we've been hearing about this through the debates and through the campaigning that President Trump and many Republicans worry that the large stimulus package Nancy Pelosi wants to push through is so that money can go to Democrat cities and states that were already having budgeting issues before the coronavirus lockdown. However, that I believe could be taken care of fairly easily. They would just have to write in language saying that this can only be used for expenses that have already been incurred or expenses related to COVID. So I don't know that that's as big of an issue. And I think some of that may go away this week as that pressure goes away. Okay, but right now, there are many states in our nation that actually do need that state and local assistance. They need that fiscal financial help from the federal government. Now, this week could be a big week because both Pelosi and Trump said publicly 5 or 6 days ago that a stimulus bill simply would not happen before the election. Well, gratefully, the election is over tomorrow night. So us waiting around for the election, that ends in about 24 hours. This doesn't mean that we'll have a final result or know exactly who the president is tomorrow night, although President Trump would like to have a president declared tomorrow evening. It's more likely that it will take a few days to get through mail-in ballots, and each state has different rules based on their court systems on what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. But there's no reason that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin could not go back to work Wednesday on working to get a stimulus deal and a stimulus check out for the American people. There's just no reason that they need to wait. Now that the energy and the distraction of the election is over, they should now begin to focus on the American people and their voters, right? Their voter base. Now, I was grateful to read this, and also as I did my research, several senators are saying that the chances of passing a stimulus after the election will be much easier because these politicians no longer have to appease their party's voter base as much as they did a week ago, and they can just focus on doing what's right for the American people. Now, I know that this is crazy, but as an elected official, shouldn't you always do what's right for the American people, regardless of whether it's an election or not? But I digress. All right. Hopefully, starting Wednesday or Thursday of this week, you and I are no longer pawns in their political game when it comes to getting a stimulus deal done. With the distraction over, they should be able to focus. But Washington, D.C. seems to chase shiny objects, so we will see, right? There should also be no more need to say giving a stimulus check to the people could potentially hand President Trump a win because the election will be over. So whether there was worry that the Democrats were holding it up to avoid making him look like a win, or whether it would actually give him a win, that is also off the table because the election will be over. So hopefully, again, they can go back to focusing on the American people. That excuse should be off the table starting tomorrow. Okay, now, the Senate and the House of Representatives, they are back in their home states campaigning, but the Senate returns to Washington, D.C. in 1 week on November 9th. So a week from today, they are back in. This means that there is a window between Wednesday morning and Monday of next week for Mnuchin and Pelosi and the White House to get on board with a stimulus package and get it to the Senate so that they have something to discuss starting Monday morning. But we will see if Mnuchin and Pelosi can get it together after the election. If an agreement can be done this week or next week, there is a high probability of getting money out to many Americans before Thanksgiving, and certainly before the Christmas holiday season. Okay, now this would alleviate a lot of financial stress for those that are looking for jobs. There's still over 20 million Americans looking for work right now. And to the 100 million Americans who have been promised a second stimulus check, that would alleviate a lot of stress and anxiety, and it would give a boost to the economy, right? There's parts of the economy that are recovering in a V shape, and there are parts of the economy that are really, really struggling. Now, I hope that these politicians will feel some of the pressure the rest of the country is feeling and get this done now that the election energy is over. With the presidency race, the Senate race, and the House of Representative races over Tuesday night, they should be able to set their own selfish interest aside and focus on the American people. So again, there is a lot of talk about something positive coming out of Washington, D.C. with the election being over. But we will see. We will see what comes of it. This is my update for today. As I know more, I will share more. Over 90 million Americans have already cast their vote. So hopefully the voting lines are shorter tomorrow. My wife and I were able to go and vote today. So make sure to get out and vote. Make your voice heard. It's very, very important. I just want to remind you as I wrap up this video that you are amazing. I really appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.